We're going to begin by looking just briefly at 4 reads, just to give you an idea of how to do these visual observations. It's going to be difficult for you to fully see on camera what I can see visually myself. Naturally, it's also hard for me to fully adjust what you're seeing on camera as well. So we'll do the best we can. When looking at reeds and looking at the visual observations of the grain, what we're doing is we're looking at fibers of the grain and seeing how they run down the blade of the reed. This first reed, for instance, this is our wire upside. I do that by the first wire. Grain looks pretty good. I do notice can you see right in this area here, looks like the profiler might have taken a little bit of a gouge there. I'm going to turn it over to the wire downside, and I notice the topography, the reed is, these grains are, you can see how this is a little bit heavier than over here just by coloration a little bit. As you get more towards the bark, you get a yellower color in the grain than you do as you get more towards the inside pulpy matter of the reed, the cane, and you get more of a whitish look here. So looking at the right now, let's take a look at the aperture. You will notice that the wire upside, and this is the wire, see where the wire is? The wire upside is stronger than the wire downside on this reed. And I also notice that this side over here is weaker than this side. When the reed closes, notice how the aperture closes off center, closes in this way. Now you can always tell which blade is stronger because it's a little bit like a wrestling match. You get 2 arms wrestling, and you can very clearly see that this blade here, the wire up blade, is stronger than the wire down blade because it's pushing in this direction like that. And that's a real good visual cue for you to be able to see. Okay, let me do the finger test now. Just testing with my fingers. And I can feel along the reed, and yes, I feel that this wire upside is even heavier with my fingers. You can even see how that wire downside is collapsing more. Feeling this way as well. Okay, and then we can put in the plaque, make a little test with the plaque and the reed. Okay, so here's the wire. So we were saying the wire upside was a little bit thicker, and it does appear to be a little bit thicker as you observe. So those are observations that would help me for evening out that particular reed. Let's look at another one. Yeah, there's some nice, I see some nice straight grains going all the way through this reed. Not observing too much in the way of gouge on that side. Trying to get the right angle so you can see the grain here. Yeah, we can see some things. Looks like this area I may have taken out a bit too much in that area, and this again comes somewhat off the profile and things. Let's take a look at the aperture, the tip. And we're going to have wire up here. And once again, I think our wire upside is a little bit stronger. If we close this reed off, like that, pinching it closed, what I observe, wire up, this is stronger than there. And actually this is also than over here. Let's do that again. Yeah, a little bit. Closes just a bit off center. I don't know if you can notice that the bubble ends just over in this area when I close it. Like that. Okay. Again, we can put in the plaque. Oh, I ought to do my finger test. I forgot to do that for you here. So I'm just going to feel along here. My fingers, yes. wire up, I'm definitely feeling heavier, particularly right here. Probably got something with the way I work on the reeds. You know, right-handed people, if we pretend this is the knife, right-handed people tend to take off more on this side of the blade than this side. So you tend to take off more closer to where your hand is than the other hand. Okay, and then you can of course put in the plaque and look at, see if there's an evenness to the side. You don't want to see any chunks or gouges taken out of that. I've got a reed here now that is one that I have performed with off and on for a while. Let's take a look at this is the wire up blade. And one thing I can notice visually, and I'm hoping you can see it as well, is I took a little bit of a chunk right out there. And I think you can see that. See that little darker spot right in that area? You know, those are things that you can visually see with your eye. And I noticed that, you know, the grain stops there. As you go through the layers of the grain, it will change color. The fibers change. You can see the longitudinal fibers may just stop, and then you see a color change. So that indicates to me that I probably got a little bit of weakness there in the reed there. I always visually look at the reeds when they're wet, of course. And that side looks, yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the tip here and close the aperture. So wire side up here, and as I close that, pretty darn good. That's pretty good. You see how that bubble closes right in the center? That's pretty good. Nice inflections on the side here. You know, this is a reed that would play a wide variety of dynamics very well. I don't know if you can see this very clearly on the camera, but the tip is better formed on that reed in this hand than it is in this one, because this is the reed I'm wiggling is yet to be fully finished. And we can have a look, and you can do the feeler test with the fingers. And we can put in the plaque and see the sides. Yeah, you see those rails are a little bit thinner than the other ones because I haven't fully completed them. This particular reed, there is a slight, the wire up side is slightly stronger than the wire down side. I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to adjust there. Just slightly stronger, and I certainly feel that in my fingers. Wire upside here. Because of the way the barrel formed. If you look carefully, this particular barrel, we've got featured a single crack here, which causes there to be more of a vaulting or more of a ridge forming along here that's stronger. The wire down side, we don't find a single crack right in the center. It's more evenly distributed. That's preferable, of course, and so this will tend to have more of an even curvature to this side. And so consequently, unfortunately, it's an issue with balancing both blades, but reeds are forgiving, and none of us are perfect, let alone, except of course God, but we deal with what we have here. And I just want to show you an older reed here, and this older reed, you can really see how the fibers show up. You know, unfortunately, as the reed ages, you can see just the difference in the fibers and even the overall coloration of the reed. And this particular reed, you can see right here at the tip, see that change right there? Those fibers. So, you know, just looking at a wet reed, see how that tip just sort of pops out there? You can just look at the fibers and the way they appear on the reed. Hope this has been a little bit helpful. Thank you.